Felt a little disrespect not being on primetime television this whole time because the shows are the greatest show on turf. So we'll see if we get the 7 o'clock slot down the road.
Well, Alex Bregman, you got to play during primetime at least. As most of you all know by now, the Boston Red Sox have defeated the Houston Astros in 5 games and are headed to their 4th World Series of this century. After winning 108 games, to put it frankly, the Red Sox were disrespected heading into the playoffs. A lot of the media were picking the Yankees to win in the ALDS, and I don't think anyone had the Red Sox winning in 5 games in this championship series. They won all of those regular season games for a reason, and while the Yankees and Astros are fantastic baseball clubs, Boston handled 2 100-win teams without reaching an elimination game, and are one step closer to potentially being the greatest Red Sox team of all time. For me, the biggest takeaway of this series has to be the 2-out hitting of the Red Sox. The Astros had a lot of trouble getting out of innings, and Jackie Bradley Jr. pretty much won the ALCS MVP because of it. Even though he only went 3 for 15 in the series, he drove in 9 runs. Yes, you heard that right. His bases clearing double in the Game 2 gave Boston a lead that they wouldn't relinquish. He had a grand slam off of Roberto Osuna in Game 3 to put the game out of reach. And in Game 4, where it was back and forth from the start, JBJ hit a 2-run shot to give the Red Sox the lead that they would not give up. Heading into Game 5, while the Sox were still up 3-1, there was still a path to where you think the Astros could force a Game 7. David Price was on the mound in Game 5, and we all know how that was supposed to go. Then you've got Garrett Cole in Game 6 against Chris Sale, who was recently in the hospital, and then anything can happen in the Game 7. Instead, Price silenced the reigning World Series champs. This after he was in the bullpen the night before for 2 innings after Craig Kimbrell gave every Boston sports fan a heart attack in Game 4. Price held Alex Bregman, George Springer, Jose Altuve, and Carlos Correa to a combined 1-for-11 with 6 strikeouts and only faced a 3-ball count once the entire game. He also poked a little fun with Alex Bregman after he struck out in the 8th. There's a chance this series is still going on and we're talking about it in a totally different light right now if Andrew Benintendi doesn't make that catch at the end of Game 4, or if it was a different ruling on the Jose Altuve home run that was called fan interference. But the Astros were given opportunities to win this series plain and simple. Mookie Betts hit .217, Andrew Benintendi hit .208, and the list goes on and on. Nobody on the Red Sox had a insanely productive series. The exception of Jackie Bradley Jr. and Rafael Devers had a pretty big 3-run shot. But this just shows how deep their team is and how much they can do on offense. They've got the best approach in all of baseball. They can run, and they've also might have the best defensive outfield I've ever seen. When the presumed American League MVP doesn't really do all that much for you in a series, and you still win the series 4-1, that just shows how deep of a team you have. The Red Sox will now await the winner of the Dodgers and Brewers series, and the first game of the World Series begins on Tuesday of next week.